Hello, wrestling fans. Let's talk about what happened on Friday Night SmackDown for November the 21st, 2025. The show opened up with Paul Heyman's team of Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, and Drew McIntyre. They come out. They start hyping up the man's War Game match. Honestly, on paper, it should be very good. You got Team Paul Heyman, which is all about power and speed. Then you got Team CM Punk, which is a mixture of speed and agility. They got no power in that team at all. The Usos come out. They get ready to fight them. Cody Rhodes' music hits to join the fight, but no Cody Rhodes. His music is still playing, nothing. Then they show on the cameras backstage of the parking lot on his tour bus. McIntyre exits the tour bus. That's where he was. He beat Cody Rhodes up inside the tour bus and he left. Then the Usos ran out of the parking lot to check on the teammate. He's all banged up, bruised up. Then later on in the show, Nick Aldis confronts Team Heyman backstage. He says, look, Drew McIntyre is suspended on SmackDown. He shouldn't even be here. I can contact the authorities and get him arrested. And Paul Heyman, being the wise man, the Oracle, brings up two interesting facts. One, Nick Aldis said he's suspended from SmackDown. Technically, he's not in the arena. He's outside the arena. Second, that's why he could compete at War Games, because he's only suspended on SmackDown shows, not pay-per-views. Smart. Paul Heyman figured that loophole out. Then later on in the show, Cody Rhodes cost Bronson Reed the match against Carmelo Hayes the tournament. I'll get to that in a little bit. Then he delivered an awesome speech on top of the announce table, fired right up, and he mentioned stuff with Brock Lesnar, which is true. He's the last guy to beat Brock Lesnar, not once but twice since Brock's wrestled. He said Braun Breaker, a Steiner, is not as great as Rhodes. Bronson Reed, he said, you're the best one in the group, but you're being misused. That was interesting. And he said, Logan Paul, he's just going to grab a drone and do some high-flying shit. That was hilarious. Then he said to Paul Heyman, I'll see you at War Games. You better bring that Scottish Warrior with you. Because he said, when I get in that cage of McIntyre, it's game on. The opening match, Dragunov defended his U.S. Open Challenge for the U.S. Championship, and guess who accepted it? A Raw superstar, J.D. Madugo. Great match these guys put on. Once that bell rang, poor Madugo turned around out of the corner because he was like posing, and wham, got hit by Torpedo Moscow from Dragunov. That guy must have seen stars. Like, that just is a brutal impact. But man, J.D. Madugo give the right to him. Brainbuster. I thought he won the title there, but Dragunov just kicked out. Then he ran, jumped off the top rope, moonsault off the top again. I thought he won the title, but again, Dragunov just kicked out in the nick of time. Suplexed him to the outside, but Dragunov ended up taking him along for the ride, and the referee messed up with the 10 count on the outside. J.D. Madugo tossed him up in the air and delivered one hell of a back body drop on the way down. Whiplashed him into the ropes. Like, that was brutal. Dragunov, man, had an awesome. It was kind of like a 619. Followed up by a buckshot there, clothesline combo. That was cool. A second Torpedo Moscow. Powerbomb. H-bomb. Awesome sequence to keep the U.S. Championship intact. I love these open challenges. The great matches week in and week out. Then backstage, he's walking. And Tama Tonga, that's 3 weeks in a row now, he's approached Dragunov. And this time he actually speaks and he says, very soon I'll go be challenging you for that. And then Tommaso Ciampa again walks up to him, wants to know why again. 3 weeks in a row he's ducked him. And Dragunov's like, well, you had a tag match. I guess Nate Frazier and Axion. Tommaso Ciampa, that doesn't matter, I could have done double duty. And Dragunov said, how many times do I have to tell you? A jackass does not get a shot at my title. Like, that's hilarious. And Tommaso Ciampa just getting furious at this point. When those two eventually do collide for the open challenge, that's going to be one heck of an amazing match. It should be a main event match for sure. Speaking of DIY, they took on Nate Frazier and Axion in a great tag match. High-flying action. As soon as that bell rang, Axion ran a super kick Johnny Gargano through the ropes to the outside. Nate Frazier bounced off the ropes. Spike DDT Tommaso Ciampa. Then they took turns quickly hitting a move through the ropes, over the ropes, hitting a member of DIY on the outside, run back to the ring, run, do the opposite flips over the ropes to the other member of DIY on the outside. Tommaso Ciampa kept Nathan Frazer grounded. Then Johnny Gargano tried to keep him grounded, and then this is cool. They were double teaming Nathan Frazer. They had double team Shatter Machine. Double team super kick fairy tale ending. Axiom ran in to try to help his partner, and Gargano intercepted him with an awesome super kick, just floored Axiom. Axiom and Nathan Frazer hit a cool double team move on Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa drop kicked the leg out from under Nathan Frazer. The knee smashed him right in the face. And then Axiom ran in and hit the double team finisher on him there. Super kick, running knee smash, but Nathan Frazer broke up the pin just in the nick of time. Nathan Frazer flips over the ropes to the outside and drills Tommaso Ciampa. He was not expecting that. And in the ring, Axiom just hit Gargano with a top rope Spanish fly. Then he gets up the top rope again. Candice LeRae seizes the opportunity because the referee doesn't see her and pulls the mask off Axiom off the top rope. He jumps down, covering his face. Gargano rolls him up, steals the win. DIY cheats to win the match. Then after the match, up on the stage, Gargano is like playing with Axiom's mask, and he's got Axiom's got a towel over his face to cover up his face. Nathan Frazer standing there, and Corey Graves like, he's hideous. He's got scars. He's hideous. Michael Cole's like, you never saw his face. Corey Graves like, Cole, be quiet. Like, that was hilarious. Back-to-back final first round matchups in the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. Bronson Reed against Carmelo Hayes, and Paul Heyman is at ringside with his teammates, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul. So basically, Carmelo Hayes is going at this 4-on-1, right? Carmelo Hayes gave it to Bronson Reed. Code breaker, a running jawbreaker, back-to-back leg drops off the ropes to the back of the head of Bronson Reed as he was tangled up between the ropes. Bronson Reed tossed Carmelo Hayes into the corner, and every time Carmelo Hayes should try to get out of the corner, Bronson Reed just shoved him back in it. Body shots, big boots to the face, body slams to the corner, you name it, he was keeping him in that corner. That was awesome. Bronson Reed had awesome body slam, running jump up splash on Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes struggled to get out of a camel clutch. He finally did, got some body shots in on Bronson Reed, and then as he ran to do a move off the ropes, Logan Paul tripped him. Now that Bronson Reed to pick him up, deliver the world's strongest slam. He went for the Tusami, crashed the burn. Carmelo Hayes moved out of the way. Then Carmelo Hayes drop kicks Bronson Reed through the ropes to the outside, runs, and dives over the outside and takes down everybody. Paul Heyman, Breaker, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed. Gets him back in the ring, hits the top rope frog splash. Bronson Reed kicks out. Again, everybody's fighting on the outside.
Good girl.
Those two, I mean. And suddenly the Usos show up and Cody Rhodes, and they take the fight to Breaker, Logan Paul. And as the Usos are taking it to Breaker and Logan Paul amongst the fans, Cody sees that Paul Heyman is arguing with the referee what's going on the outside, sees the opportunity, crossroads to Bronson Reed on the outside, rolls Carmelo Hayes in. Carmelo Hayes wins by countout, advances to the second round of the tournament. But he's got to face Gunther next. Like, he just had a brutal match against Bronson Reed and just won by sheer luck, thanks to help of Cody Rhodes. Now he's got to face Gunther next week on Raw. That guy doesn't stand a chance. If he beats Gunther, it's by sheer luck. The main event, Penta, Finn Balor in the final first round matchup of the tournament. And honestly, this was a pathetic main event. I'm just going to say it. Finn Balor is just news as a punching bag. The only thing he did was the sling blade and the drop kick to the corner. He missed the coup de grace. Penta hit the delayed drop kick in the corner, the front face and Zagiri kick in the corner, the run and flip over face buster, Penta driver, snap the arm back, a brutal backbreaker. Like, Balor did just two moves and that was it. He even attacked Penta during his entrance in the ring, and he still got his butt handed to him. But the end of the match made no sense. Penta goes for Canadian Destroyer. Finn shoves him off, then just stands there with his head down. Then Penta just walks over, hits Canadian Destroyer for the 1-2-3 to advance to the tournament into the second round. He faces Solo Sikoa next week on Raw. So what was the whole point of Finn shoving him away from the first attempt of the Canadian Destroyer and not even trying to do anything, he just stood there so Penta can hit the Canadian Destroyer? It makes no sense, right? Some segments happened. Charlotte Flair was tricked by Alexa Bliss to enter a restaurant somewhere, and she talked to Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and eventually Charlotte Flair agrees to be the fifth and final member for the team for War Games, because AJ Lee is already a member of the team. Then the show ends with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss coming out, and they introduced AJ Lee as the fifth member. We already knew she was the fifth member from Monday Night Raw. So why have her come out as a surprise fifth member? We already knew about her, right? Makes no sense. And then Team Asuka attacks, they clean house, and then Becky Lynch shows up and she beats up AJ Lee on the outside. And she's the fifth member for Team Asuka. Honestly, Becky, Charlotte, and AJ Lee shouldn't even be in the match. Because this feud for months now, Roxanne Perez with Gal Rodriguez has been feuding with Bayley and Valkyria. Bayley and Valkyria has also been feuding with the Kabuki Warriors for months. So it makes sense for them to be a part of Team Io Sky, Rhea Ripley team with them, and Alexa Bliss against Team Nia Jax, Asuka, Kairi Shane, Last Legend, and a member of Judgment Day, Regal, Roxanne. But no, let's follow AJ Lee, Charlotte, and Becky, which makes no sense. And Last Legend, all I've seen her do since the 3 weeks she's been there is just sneak attack people, and all she does is punches them. And then she walks around thinking she's done a big deal. All you can do is punch people? I hate to see your performance inside War Games. Sami Zayn's team delivered a promo hyping up the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match happening next week on SmackDown, which is cool to see to build up into the main of the pay-per-view next weekend. And, oh my god, Motor Machine Guns delivered a speech. Nakamura did. Sammy did. Ray Phoenix started meowing like a cat. Then he spoke some English. It was all fired up. I'm sorry, but him meowing it brought a song up to me in my head. Meow Mix. Remember that song, Meow Mix? Like, every time now I see Ray Phoenix, I'm going to think of that song now. Then the Bloodline Free delivered a promo hyping up their team, and they all said something about fighting the other member of the other team, Sammy. Now, Solo said something. He said, when it's all settled, the dust is clear, me and you are going to be the final two, Sammy. Is he just dropping a hint that it's going to be Sammy and Solo as the final two in the Survivor Series elimination match next week? If that's the case, Solo screwed up in that promo big time if he just let that slip out by mistake. He might get punished for that, or they purposely did that to drop a hint. Speaking of the next week, LA Knight was scheduled to face Sheamus in round 2 of the Last Is Now John Cena tournament, but Sheamus is out, folks, with a dislocated shoulder. He's injured. It happened during the 6-man tag on Raw when Sheamus, Cena, and Rey Mysterio defeated Judgment Day. So, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis did the right thing. They chose another name out of the 24 people that was in that tumbler, and only 16 was selected. So they chose other name off camera. The announcer said, but we won't know who it is until next week. So that means it's not a Raw or a SmackDown or NXT superstar. It has to be out of surprise. Will this be Edge? Will this be Jericho? Or somebody else unexpected? And honestly, if it is somebody outside WWE, the track record of the tournament ain't good. They have lost 2 in a row. Who do you think it is? Let me know below in the comments. Do you think it's a Raw star, a SmackDown superstar, an NXT superstar? Do you agree with me that it's probably somebody else outside the WWE? That's why it's always a mystery who it is. And next week on SmackDown as well, main event Jey Uso faces Rusev in the second round of the tournament. And there was a lame segment where Chelsea Green was running backstage and she hides behind a door, and Alba Fire prevents Julia and Kate and James from finding her, and then they walk away. Like, come on. If she's being chased from them and they're like 10 seconds behind her, they should notice that she turned into the hallway, and when they turn around the corner, it's just Alba Fire in her door. Chelsea Green didn't go through the wall and down the outside of the hallway. She's right behind that door. They should have noticed, like, yeah, well, it does. She's behind the door. But no, they may act like, oh, she continued down the hallway. That was lame and sad to see. There we have it, folks. I'm actually excited for next week's SmackDown. Jay and Rusev should be a very good match. LA Knight versus the Mystery Superstar should be good. And the 5-on-5, I'm looking forward to it. But if the Bloodline just destroys them, eliminates everybody, they don't lose a single member, that's going to be pathetic. Like, Jeff Cobb should be the first one eliminated from that team because he'd be gassed within the first 2 minutes. And Tola Tonga, he hardly never wrestles, so I'd be kind of curious to see how he performs in a match now, finally. Because usually he's outside as a manager, or he had like one match with Tama Tonga as a tag team and then he got injured. So, like I say, rarely haven't seen what he could do. There you have it, folks. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.